Hello, you're watching About Things for Reasons, where things are kind of awkward and the reasons don't really matter. So today I was wanting to talk about body image. I know body image isn't really a new topic for most people, but it's something that's kind of been on my heart recently, and it was requested. So take what you can get. As someone who is pansexual and openly marrying a woman, I've kind of had my fair share of looks and a lot of questions regarding how I look and present myself. Those of you who know me really well can pretty much attest to the fact that I'm girly. I have my pink glasses and I love them, and I love my bows, and I love my skirts and my dresses, and I absolutely adore anything retro or vintage inspired. And I may or may not have a problem with shoes and high heels especially. So when people see my soon-to-be wife and I holding hands out in public, we get some stares, and people will tell me, "But you don't look gay," as if it's expected of me now that I'm marrying a woman, even though I identify as pansexual, not a lesbian. But anyway, people just kind of expect me to look differently or act certain ways, and I don't fit that. In fact, true story, my mother even said after I came out to her that I should never cut my hair, because to her that would be an identifier of my sexuality, and then there would be no denying it, and then go through the whole shaming process of all of her friends. But that really struck me as funny of her to say, because even if I were to cut my hair, and I might be, who knows, it's really long and kind of tedious to deal with every day. But if I did, it would just be because I wanted it for me, not because, well, I'm a lesbian now, better get a butt haircut and buy some flannel. It's not really a thing that I would want. But it wouldn't be because, she told me to do something one way or the other. It would definitely be just a for me thing, not because, just so many reasons why what she said was wrong. But anyway, body image. As a woman, in her, mid-20s-ish. I'm 25. You can know that. I'm 25. But I have always kind of felt like I'm shaped like a 12-year-old boy. And I've kind of gone through some really negative cycles of self-depreciation over how I look and how I carry myself and the things that I like, the things that I don't like. I used to be very tomboyish, but in such a way that I would ruin all of my dresses by going through the mud because I wanted to go play out with my brothers. But kind of going through those cycles really makes you feel like you're not enough, because I'm not curvy, because I'm really kind of lanky and I'm a little bit awkward sometimes, and because my butt and my boobs kind of don't really exist. So yeah. But I got to the point to where I was spending so much time focusing on what I looked like that I wasn't really focusing on who I was. That really bothered me. But eventually I came to terms with how I was born, how I was shaped, all of that. Came to terms with lots of things all at once. And it didn't happen overnight. Certainly not by any means, but it took about probably a good 2 to 3 years of me understanding so many things about myself, and really coming to terms with, this is how I'm shaped. I don't want to change it. My nose is kind of crooked. You can probably tell. I don't care. It's going to stay that way. It's my nose and I love it. Here's my phone again. But it really took some of that time for me changing my focus on what made me happy and what truly mattered to me at the end of the day. And kind of what truly mattered to me was that I wasn't a terrible person, and everything else is just kind of bonus. So it was just really so heartbreaking for me to see people changing everything about themselves, getting plastic surgery or taking these drastic measures to change these things about who they are, because of something that somebody else said. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, well, why wouldn't you want," like, for example, with me, like, "Oh, wouldn't you want to get, a breast enhancement surgery?" Not really. They're tiny, and I can lay on the floor without being horribly uncomfortable. And they're mine, and I love them. But it's so heartbreaking to hear stories of people saying, oh, well, I got this taken care of because my husband didn't like this about me. Or, well, my friend told me that I should do this because they thought that, this on me wasn't cute enough or wasn't good enough. Making other people feel like they're lacking or something is wrong with them. So kind of segue into that, I want to share a story about a friend that I grew up with. We've known each other our entire lives and have remained really close over the years. But when we were, well, I was probably about 10 or 11 and she was probably, 12, 13, going into that puberty stage. But she decided that she wanted a boy's haircut and that she wanted to wear boys' clothes and insisted that I call her by a male-inspired nickname. And when I asked her why, she said, well, I think God made a mistake with me, Alyssa. I think something isn't right here with my body, because some of the boys at school and some of the other girls have told me that I'm too ugly to be a girl. Her body hadn't started changing yet, and she was feeling really insecure about the fact that she didn't have any breasts yet, and that she still kind of had that chubby baby face, and it was really heartbreaking for me, just because she changed literally everything about herself, from going to school dressed as a girl to instead, I want my hair cut short and I'm going to be going to school as a boy and I'm going to adopt this male persona, taking it really far, actually, to the point where she switched which restroom she was using. And just thinking back on that, it just completely breaks my heart that what children said to her made her want to change everything about who she was. And she's a great and wonderful person, but she just went through such drastic measures just for acceptance from her peers, and that really just breaks my heart. It happens all the time, guys. It's not okay. And I do want to differentiate that her situation is different from somebody who identifies as transsexual or transgendered, because she did not think that she was a boy. She didn't necessarily want to be a boy. She likes being a girl, and she is very proud of her femininity and very strong in her womanhood today. But she thought that maybe her body should be different because other people told her she wasn't good enough, made her feel like she was less than what she was, which is very different than someone who is transgender, who it's almost like being trapped in somebody else's body, being forced to live the life of a male when inside you're just screaming to be that female. It's completely different because for completely different reasons, so I do want to differentiate that. But I guess really what I want to say is, my deepest wish for people is for them to take a good hard look at themselves and decide what they want, and really just ignore the crap that other people say. There are going to be idiots and jerks and a lot of self-righteous, judgmental people who are going to have something to say. But at the end of the day, you got to do you. And there may be times when you'll feel like less than or ugly or like you're lacking something. But just remember, everybody has something beautiful about themselves, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So, I love you, and if you have more topics, leave them in the comments or message me, or if you know how to get a hold of me, just do it that way. I think next week we'll be talking about females and masturbation, so that was a request, which should be fun. I'm blushing a little bit already. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you later. Bye!